What's going on, everyone? Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Thursday episode of the Crawford Chronicles. I'm one of your hosts, PK. And as always, we have Homer Chris and Sweet Bee Bones Bryles. Fellas, how are y'all?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Looking forward towards an action-packed League City Little League weekend. We got games tomorrow night and on Saturday. We are slowly getting close. This time next week, it will be opening day. If my math serves me correctly, yes, it'll be this time next week is opening day. So, man, I'm pumped, ready to go. I know a lot of people, you guys are paying attention to your brackets. I did not make one, so cool. Go March Madness. Charles, how's your week going?
Good, man. And you're right. We've got an action-packed weekend. Not only do we have League City Little League, but just about everybody and their mother who is in fantasy baseball is going to be drafting this weekend. So for all you out there that need fantasy baseball advice, make sure DM me and then completely fade everything I say because I will give you the wrong information. That is a guarantee. But, I'm going to make the best of it anyway. So but yeah, no, we got a whole lot going on. We've got opening day coming up a week from today, which is super exciting. That's for the Astros. So we get to see actually live MLB season baseball on Wednesday night. That'll be fun to see. So anyway, we've got a lot going on coming up very soon. And I'm ready to get into this since I've done half episodes for the last two. So I'm planning on being here for the whole time, took notes, and I'm ready to go. So PK, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Ready to, like you said, we're T minus a week. This time next week, we will be talking Astros real baseball, regular season baseball. So ready for that. Yeah, man, just getting ready. With the spring breakout game today. We're gonna cover that. You got a WBC championship on Tuesday night, right? With the U.S. losing to Venezuela. And then it's just wrapping up spring training. And we're getting down to like the nut cutting time, man. Like these guys that are having these bad outings, like that. Like how does that affect them possibly making this roster? We're gonna cover some of that, and then my guy that was possibly gonna hold down the eighth inning role. Bennett Sousa got hurt a shoulder. He will not be on the opening day roster. So we gotta find a spot for who's gonna cover down for old Bennett. So let's get into this thing, man. So spring breakout game was today, right? We had Kevin Alvarez and Xavier Nayans going. I'm gonna be honest, I was watching more of the March Madness. Chris was hold it down for me. However, he did tell me that it was an error-filled first inning, so it appears that I did not miss much. So let's get into that. Chris, what were your first? What's your thoughts on that spring breakout game today?
Yeah, I mean, I know while a lot of people were filling out their last minute brackets, like I was going to, and then I was like, oh, that's right, the breakout spring breakout game is going to be on. So, me being the nerd I am, I did not fill out a bracket and started watching a bunch of youngsters that probably won't be on the team for another 3 to 4 or 5 years. Yeah, man. I mean, like James Hicks started out, he looked pretty good. But then like the defense in the first inning was just, let's just say that Xavier Nayans defensively had a breakout he wished didn't break out as far as defensively. He had a couple errors at the plate. I mean, they look like Kevin Alvarez looked like he was trying to hit a 1,700-foot home run. But then he worked, got down 0-2 early. Then he worked a walk. I mean, that guy pitching for Miami. I mean, he was throwing like 96. So, but yeah, I mean, like, just at first it was kind of tough to watch with the errors. I mean, you can kind of tell maybe these kids were a little bit too amped up. But, yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, they came back and won. I mean, because they were down 6-1 at one point. So they came back from being down 5. So, I mean, like, and again, it was nice to see some of these kids that are, you're going to be seeing here within the next, like I said, 2 to 5 years. And they actually showed it on TV. So when I mean TV, I mean the Space City streaming app. So it was good to kind of I finally got a chance to see Kevin Alvarez and stuff like that. So I don't know, Browse, what did you take? What were your takeaways?
My takeaways, at least, was there were a lot of errors in that game. There were a lot of wild pitches. There were a lot of errors. So, yeah, these are definitely young guys coming up. It reminded me kind of high school, maybe even like college baseball game, maybe not even a college baseball game with the errors that I saw, at least from the highlights. I did not get to watch all of it. I did get to see some of it, but I did take some notes. The really cool thing was we did actually get a walk-off on a fielder's choice. So that was kind of neat. So we won that 7-6. That was pretty fun. It looked like the player of the game was Herman Ramirez for us. So he looked pretty good. Xavier Nayan scored. And then, yeah, other than that, it was just good to see these guys actually get out there and play, because you don't ever get to see like a double A, or single A televised game. I mean, I know, Chris, you've definitely got that subscription where you get to see some of those. I don't even get the time to watch a lot of those games. I watch the Space Cowboys when I can, and then obviously watch every Astros game. But that's about as far as I get. I know you get a little deeper into the woods when it comes to the minor leagues. But yeah, anyway, the fact that the guys were able to pull it off and get a walk-off even on a fielder's choice, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, we've seen Kevin Alvarez twice this spring, once or twice.
Yeah,
not many times, right? So all the guys, like Chris, who was plugged into it, they got to see the future, and now, right? So you hope they progress. I mean, they're going to progress. The kid's 18 years old, so yeah, they were probably wanting to mash, I would assume. I did see the play at the plate to end the game. Was he out? He looked out to me. I mean, he looked out to me.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked out to me. I mean, who cares, right? I mean,
excuse me. There you go.
Yeah. That is this. But yeah, no. So it's cool, man. Like, it's cool to see these guys. To watch these guys. And like I said, I mean, I was watching March Madness, so I was just kind of watching on X, throughout the day. So yeah, that's what it was. I mean, it's like Kevin Alvarez's swing. I think Xavier Nayan's his swing, like his bat speed from the previous highlights that we've seen during like right after we drafted him, when we brought him to Daikin to have his first BP there. I mean, the dude has some serious bat speed for that, for a lefty. So I can't wait to see him progress. And Kevin Alvarez, I was pumped about that 2 seasons ago when we got him and we had Astros future on. So they're calling him Baby Jordan back then, right? So we'll see if he progresses and fills out. And but hey, it's a breakout game. Like I said, Bryles, you said they were probably pretty pumped to get in there, pretty amped up, and wanted to show up and clean up the errors, and you move on, right? Get ready for the regular season for those guys down in the lower A ball, double A system. So let's get into this, man. Unless you guys have anything else on the breakout game.
No, man. I mean, you pretty much, covered it. Browse pretty much covered it. I mean, the cool thing is, I think in a couple of years they're going to turn it into a tournament. So you'll have a winner from the Grapefruit League and then a winner from the Arizona from the Cactus League. I don't know if they're going to play each other, but I mean, they're going to turn it into like a preseason tournament. So
that'd be pretty sweet.
There you go. Yeah,
that'd be really cool to watch. All right, well, let's get into it, man. On Tuesday, Astros didn't play Monday, right? They didn't play Monday. Tuesday, they beat the Pirates 10-2. Loperfido had a pretty good game. I mean, he only had 1 hit, right? But he scored 3 runs and had 2 walks. So, I mean, he's had like a, kind of a quiet spring, but like in a good, like quiet, consistent spring. And so let's see, Bryce Matthews had a pretty big day. And Whitcomb, man, Shea Whitcomb coming off of the WBC had a really good game on Monday. I mean, your offense exploded for, 10 runs, right? And Chris's guy, I'm going to give a little nod to Chris's guy, Biggio. He had 2 walks and he went 1 for 3, right? I will say this, dude, about Biz. In the few games that I've seen him or watched him this spring, pretty good plate discipline and play approach. I mean, he's pretty patient up there. And I think Chris has talked about that before. I mean, two walks on Monday. He comes in off the bench tonight, like they're playing right now, right? Comes in off the bench, pinch hit single, back up the middle. Just want to kind of see that consistency from him, and then I might attach myself to the Kevin Biggio, train with old Chris. But yeah, man, Office showed up on Monday, and then McCullers went 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks. I mean, he's kind of setting himself up for that 5, dude. He really is. Like, he really is.
Can't complain about that, man.
No, you can, and I mean, kind of PK. You kind of hit kind of like a sleeper that I think a lot of Astros fans kind of like almost forgot about him because after a good portion of the offseason, the biggest news was what were they going to do with Isak Paredes,
Mhm.
and I don't have the numbers on me as far as what Nick Allen's done, but I do think that Shea Whitcomb is making himself a very strong case to maybe be that utility guy coming off the bench. Because we know he could play second base, he could play third base. You've got Correa that could that could slide over to shortstop because it looks like Jeremy Pena is going to start the year on the disabled list. So yeah, I mean, I think he's one. That I think a lot of people kind of forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. Wickham is on this team.
Mhm.
You said a very quiet spring. I think Joey Loperfido got off to a really slow start, and we were kind of like writing him off, and then all of a sudden he has exploded, and he's maintained that momentum, and hopefully, I mean, I think like I said. So next episode on Sunday, we're going to get into our predictions of who we think is going to make the team out of camp. I mean, outside of like obviously the givens, but I mean, Loperfido and Whitcomb both are making really strong cases to, surprise a lot. Well, maybe not so much Loperfido, but definitely Whitcomb may surprise a lot of people, and he may actually beat out Allen in being that utility guy off the bench. What do you think, Browse?
Yeah, I do think Loperfido surprised some people because I think most people were under the impression that Cole was going to outperform Loperfido, not only defensively, but offensively as well. And that just didn't happen. For Tuesday, like the game that we're talking about, I mean, we did win 10-2. So obviously we got a lot of offense. Loperfido, the biggest thing that I saw from him was that he ended up with 2 walks in that game. One of the biggest knocks on Loperfido this whole time has been the strikeouts that he's had. Like he's just free swinging, like going after everything. He got a knock. He scored 3 runs. He got at least scored 3, and he was batting 355 at the end of the game for spring. So he's definitely improved. He's got his plate discipline down, which has helped out tremendously. And the guy is obviously fast, whether that's defensively or offensively. So I was really pleased to see what he's done. And then PK, you hit it with Whitcomb. I mean, the guy, singled. He scored Loperfido. He went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs for the whole game. I mean, he's hitting 308 for the spring now. You can't really complain about that. And Chris, like you said, he's making a very big case to actually make the squad over Nick Allen. Nick Allen, I don't want to knock the guy. He's great defensively, but he hasn't really shown that much offensively for the squad so far with a couple other guys. Cole, like I brought up earlier, 1 for 3. He had 2 runs and an RBI, and he had 2 walks as well. But even with a good batting line like that, he's still hitting under 200 for the spring. So he's got, I think, a little bit of work to do. The one thing I do want to bring up in this game, though, which we haven't talked about, and I don't think anybody's talked about, is that with the pickup of Christian Vasquez, he's actually out there playing in these spring games, and he's looked really good, just cold coming out and playing for the Astros. So I think he's got a really good spot at making the backup catcher role. Obviously, signing for a reason. But yeah, other than that, with Biggio, the way he's playing, I mean, he could be a utility guy as well. We had a lot of offense in that game on Tuesday. It was a really fun one to watch. I got to see the highlights. I'm not going to lie. I was watching the World Baseball Classic. I did not see that whole game, but I did definitely watch the highlights on it. So anyway, it was a good all-around game for everybody. I think Strohs did a really good job.
Yeah, you touched on Salazar, and I'm looking at the box score for these 3 days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right? He got 1 plate appearance, 1 at bat, not plate appearance, 1 at bat. Right? You had Yiner. No, you had Perez. Yeah, Perez as the starting catcher. Then Vasquez came in. Then yesterday you had Yiner and then Salazar for 1 at bat, and then today you had Yiner and Vasquez again. So to your point, I think it is trending pretty clearly right? That Vasquez is going to be our backup catcher. Now, I want to go back to what you talked about with Nick Allen and Shea Whitcomb. I think from if I'm choosing between Whitcomb and Allen as my utility guy, I'm rolling with Whitcomb. And I think you kind of nailed it with Allen hasn't shown anything offensively, right? I mean, and not that Dubon was like ripping the cover off the ball. I mean, you had Dubon as your utility guy strictly for his defense, right? And the fact that he could play 17 positions, right? Everything but pitcher and catcher, essentially, if you needed him to. But Whitcomb had a pretty good WBC for Korea. I think he played for Korea, right?
Yeah.
He had a really good WBC, and he's backed it up. I mean, like in this game, right? He was 2 for 3. Then today he went 1 for 2 with the run scored, and then he went over 2 as a pinch hitter in Wednesday's game, right? So we know he can play the corner, right? Play third. I think you can probably put him at short. I'm sure he could hold it down. But if I'm choosing between Nick Allen and Whitcomb, I'm going with Whitcomb.
No, I agree. And like I said, we all kind of touched on Joey Loperfido and those guys. I mean, and I believe we're past the point of spring training where the majority of the pitchers you're going to see are like invitees, for their teams to take a look at. I mean, you might get your occasional number 86 who's going to be in Double A. I mean, but for the most part, I mean, like your everyday starters as far as pitchers and infielders are starting to get stretched out now. So, I mean, the fact that you've got production from Shea Whitcomb, Joey Loperfido, and it's not against guy that's going to be that's just here to hold a spot until your second rotation guy is done playing golf, and then you're immediately going to send him down to minor league camp. I mean, so these are legit major league arms that they're hitting off of. I mean, the guy that they beat up when they play Pittsburgh, I think that's their number 2 starter. I'm trying to remember his name. I don't remember his name. Keller. There you go. I mean, he was one of the guys that was one of the top pitching arms that people were looking at the trade deadline last season. I mean, so this isn't, Joe Smith that's going to be playing for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies once the season starts. I mean, this is legit, major league starter.
Yeah, no, I agree. We actually stole the Pirates' number 2 starter, right? So anyway, he's in an Astros uniform, so I'll take that. But yeah, no, I agree. These guys were hitting off Major League Baseball starters, so I think that's great. The only thing I'll say is, with Whitcomb, Allen, and then now we've also got Kevin Biggio kind of in that mix. I think they might end up going. I mean, obviously we're going to do the predictions on our next episode, but one of the things I was thinking is like as a veteran in the league or whatever, they might give Biggio a look or maybe just a little bit of a notch above these other guys. The only thing I will say is that I want to see Whitcomb get everyday at bats as much as he possibly can. We talked about it all last season. Don't bring a guy up and just have him sit on the end of the bench and then play him once every 4 games. That's my only concern with Whitcomb.
Yeah, no, you're right. And look, and Cavan's a lefty, right? Cavan's a lefty off the bench. You know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously Whitcomb's not, right? But the Cavan and the Whitcomb potential, right? I mean, you have to figure it out. We'll go over that on Tuesday. I don't want to get into all of what we think individually, even though we've kind of spilled the beans a little bit. But let's move on to Wednesday. Wednesday, you took the L. JP France started 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks. I mean, I would say for JP France, that's a pretty good outing for him. And then you had Okert 1 inning, blue ball 1 inning, Tang 1 inning, no runs allowed, and then Dombrowski, he took the L, gave up 3 runs, and that is how you'll lose the game. Bottom of the 8th, he gave up 3. All your regulars going. You had Altuve, Paredes, Jordan, Correa, Loperfido, Smith, Walker, Yiner, and Myers. That was your starting 9. That was your starting 9 for that game. And that goes back to Chris's point that the guys that you're seeing playing, or at least starting the games, are almost your everyday players. Now, in this case, in this game, if I read that off again, I could see that lineup actually going out, right? Like I could see that lineup actually going out, right? Because Pena's hurt, but you're going to see these AAA major league level arms, right? The replacements that are coming in is Sacco Jr., Whitcomb, Unruh, who's like a 31-year-old minor league player who's had like a pretty decent spring, kind of under the radar guy, but he won't make the team out of camp, but yeah, man, look, JP France and then Blue Ball, Okert, and Tang. Tang's had a really good spring, dude. Really good spring.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another arm that a lot of people forget about. When we're talking about the bullpen and long relief, and I really do think that now that you have Sousa that's hurt, you have Haters that's hurt. I think Sousa and maybe Ryan Weiss, and again, not to give away too much spoilers for next episode, but I think Tang allows you to potentially, like, if you want to use Blue Ball as a setup man. I mean, he's got the stuff to be a setup man. Now, again, it really is just kind of like where does he help you the most? Does he help you at 2 innings out of the bullpen? Does he help you at number 6 in the rotation? I mean, but the stuff that we saw last year, I mean, like I mean, he could easily slide into that setup, slot until Hader comes back, and then Abreu can slide back into the setup role. But yeah, I really think that Tang is a guy that is secretly going under the radar. He's had a fantastic spring. I mean, again, I guess I won't say too much because then I'll get too much into what we're going to talk about on Sunday.
No, but you did nail it, man. He has had a good spring. So once again, I'm not going to expound on that. But anyway, so we ended up losing this game 4-1. If you were following the game, you would know that, just like PK said, we had basically a starting lineup in that game, and then the weather just didn't agree. So as soon as it started raining and getting kind of nasty and sloppy out there, that's when Espada started pulling everybody. The one thing I will say is that our boy Isak went out there and roped a double in the first inning, and he had some slight discomfort, whatever that means. So I don't know what slight discomfort means, but he could have just slipped. It was a little sloppy, like I was saying. It was wet. Who knows? I'm going to hope for the best because we got this new medical staff and say that, hey, he went out there. He just, tweaked a little bit of something. No big deal. They pulled him for precaution, which, I can guarantee you Espada and the entire Astro staff right now is being overly cautious in spring training to make sure that our guys are ready for opening day. So anyway, he was the first one to get pulled. Then basically the rest of the starters got pulled an inning later. So anyway, I'm not even worried about the score on this. We've talked about this. Nobody cares about spring training scores really. But to that point, yeah, all those guys got pulled. JP France looks good. And I had the same notes on Blue Ball. I thought he looked really good in this game. So I'm really glad to see him progressing and not having to see him as kind of an emergency that we had to pull up from AAA. So those were my takeaways.
Yeah, no, I think the bullpen depth that we have is I mean, it's pretty good at the current moment, right? I mean, the Bennett Sousa thing going down. I mean, don't know how long that shoulder is going to be, affecting him from coming back. Hader, I know, is throwing. I did see some video from earlier this week that he was throwing. He had a bullpen session. But I mean, look, if you got Tang, Blue Ball in there, I really like Blue Ball as like the long relief guy. Like I really do. And now, like you said, Chris, you can move into that setup role.
Yeah, I mean, you still have Christian Roa too, who's had he has another one under the radar. Has had a really good spring training. So, I mean, like and the Astros, they went out there, and that was the main thing that they addressed. They went out there and got pitching. That's what they looked at. I mean, so, I mean, what better way to combat the injury issues you've had over not just last season, I mean, but the last 2 or 3 seasons. I mean, the amount of Tommy Johns and stuff like that we've had in the last 3 years. I mean, they've really went, and got depth at pitching, not just in the bullpen, but in the rotation as well. I mean, so I mean, Bryles has been saying it for a while. It's like, man, like it's going to be tough to make this rotation, but man, watch out for that Space Cowboy rotation. That Space Cowboy rotation is about to be legit, like for real,
Yes, sir.
legit.
Yeah. Let's. I don't know. We got about 5 or 6 minutes. So let's get into today's game. 6-2. If you care about the score.
Zach Cole
like
had a steal. There you go.
Yeah. Biggio came off that's not a Chris's guy. He came off the bench for a pinch hit single up the middle. But you ran out Altuve, Paredes, Jordan, Correa, Smith, Zach Cole, Christian Walker, Yiner, and Whitcomb again. That was your lineup again today. So he's probably getting a feel for some of the different lineups that he's going to probably roll out at some point during the season, right? I'm not saying that Shea's making the team out of the camp, but I mean, with Pena being down, you're going to have more Correa at short, unless Nick Allen makes the team, and then that he'll hold that down, right? So, let me get this pitching. Lambert, not a good day for your guy. Not a good day. 3 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned, 3 runs, all earned, and then Weiss didn't have a good. He didn't have a good day today either. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, and then 4 walks. Those walks were killers. They are killers.
Oh, they are. I mean, like, and that was another name that was slowly going under the radar too. Was Peter Lambert, and it just sucks. I mean, because like this could be a time where you have a couple of bad outings. That's the last thing on a manager's mind, right before you got to make those roster cuts. I mean, so and I think Weiss will be fine. I think if Lambert goes out there, he'll have another good start. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what this bullpen looks like. Because like we used to be so like lefty heavy, but now you've got a handful of bullpen arms like Ward. I mean, again, your bullpen's about to be stacked down AAA too. I mean, so like I said, the main thing is we've said we're a week out. Let's just please, for the love of God, get out of this next week. Everybody healthy. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and I think they're going to probably end up shutting down Isak at least for a couple of games, maybe through the weekend, just as a precaution. I mean, I didn't even see the injury because, like I said, I saw him hit the double, but that was about it. But yeah, I agree with you. It's like these guys, they're going to be very, very careful. Let's get through this like unscathed any more than we already are, right? And let's hopefully get a healthy bullpen, a healthy rotation in these guys going forward. So that's really all that matters from here on out.
Yeah, it's gonna be the dead horse, man. These next 7 days, just anyone that's gonna be our starting 9, just put them on the bench. Tell them to go hang out at the beach. We'll see y'all.
Oh, you slept wrong? I'm sorry. You're on the bench.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you coughed? Okay, sit down. You're done. Right.
Yeah.
So, well, cool, man. That was a week. I'm looking forward to Sunday's episode. That's going to be a good one. That is going to be a good one when we do our predictions. I guess we should also sprinkle in some predictions of our own for the team.
Oh yeah, no. Next episode is going to be the Astros 2026 season predictions. So we'll go over who we think is going to make the 26-man roster. We'll go over records. And I mean, I feel kind of like bad because, we're going to break our streak of our 2-year annual going through the American League and completely getting it wrong of who's going to win what division. But let's be honest, nobody gives a crap about the other 2 divisions. So we'll go, that'll be part of our predictions is that we'll do the divisional prediction as well. Just AL West. So it should be an action-packed, super-duper jammed episode on Sunday. We may even go 35 minutes. Who knows? We may just go off the rails.
Get crazy.
Yeah, get a little crazy.
There you go.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in and for all the support you guys give us, man. We really appreciate it. We will be back, like we said, on Sunday night, and we'll go over these predictions for the 2026 season that were less than a week, 1 week away, man, from opening day. So till then, you guys have a great weekend. I hope your brackets don't bust. Mine's already busted. So, but this is the Crawford Chronicles. I'm your host.
Mine's
BK.
so perfect.
That's Homer Chris with the perfect bracket. That should be Bones Browse. Y'all have a good weekend.
Look at Horns. BYU. Oh, it's still going. Virginia Commonwealth won.